In this section, you'll be learning about how to write a server-side workflow script that processes a web form. The whole point of the new task web form is to add a delivery task to the reference table that the Rocky Jupiter drivers use to get updates about their current assignments. However, the data that you submit via a form cannot modify data in the cloud without some post-processing. Here's where workflow scripts come in. Write a workflow script that will take the data that you enter and submit in the form and process it to update the assignments reference table. There's something you'll have to get out of the way before you tackle the script itself. You'll need to add a new column and therefore modify the declaration for the assignments reference table. The unload date associated with the delivery is something that the driver enters when cargo is unloaded. It is not the same as the delivery due in the new task web form, which is set by the client in the purchase order and added to the delivery by the administrator. For the workflow script to be able to handle this new delivery data, the assignments reference table must contain a new due date column. Let's add it to the reference table declaration file for the assignments reference table. The data type for the date is obviously date, and it is required for all delivery tasks. On the other hand, however, the load date and unload date columns should not be required anymore, since it's not the admin's task to add them, but the driver's. Delete the not null equals true attribute from the two columns. Download the new input data spreadsheet that includes this extra column from our tutorial pages, and overwrite your existing RefTab spreadsheet with it. Create the addTask.rfs workflow script. The string server program in the header declares that this script will run in the cloud. Make sure that you have the string forFormNewTask in the header of the script. This identifies the form whose submission triggers the workflow script. In the header, also specify the associated reference table for the workflow script. The body of the script calls for the insert function on the assignments reference table and adds a new row to it. The columns of the row are populated by the submitted input in the new task form, except for two columns. The assignment ID column is generated, and the status field is a static value. Use a dot-separated relative path that ends in the identifier of the control and has a specific property of the control appended. You're done. You've effectively linked the mobile workflow of the roving drivers to the desktop-based Rocky Jupiter administrators. The purchase order, new delivery task, actual delivery loop is closed and self-sustaining. Save your workflow script and publish your solution. Fill the new task web form in with an order from Osato Chemicals. Whenever you submit the new task web form, the assignments reference table is updated and the relevant driver is notified about the new task. The new task pops up on the driver's task list. You've become one hell of a form builder. And that's all for this tutorial. To recap what you've learned, now you know how to create browser-based workflow solution forms, aka web forms, in the web forms form language. Use some of the most important simple controls in web forms. Make web forms dynamic using data binding. Access and use the session-related system parameters. Validate the input in a web form against a complex set of conditions. Group elements in a web form into chapters. Apply workflow scripts to web form submission data. We'd like to thank you for your attention today. Be sure to check out www.mobilengine.com to keep up with all our exciting developments.